Welcome back to the channel. If you're getting into archery or you've been throwing arrows downrange for years, you know one absolute truth. Your bow is an investment. Between the sight, the rest, the stabilizers, and the bow itself, you're easily looking at $1,000 or more sitting in your hands. So why do so many of us trust cheap, flimsy cases to protect it? Today we're looking at something completely different. This is the Flambeau Outdoors Formula Bow Case. It abandons traditional foam entirely and relies on a revolutionary design to float your bow in safety. In this video, we're going to cover the hard facts, the real-world use cases, the value, and my personal hands-on opinions after digging into the research. Let's dive in. Let's start with the cold, hard facts. This isn't your average plastic shell. The Formula Bow Case is built like an absolute tank. It measures 47 inches long, roughly 19.4 inches wide, and over 9 inches deep. Inside, you get a spacious 44.4 inches of length and 16 inches of width. It accommodates bows under 40 inches in overall length with the internal gear pouch installed and up to 43 inches if you take the pouch out. This means you'll be able to accommodate your bows that are like roughly 39 to 40 inches in axle to axle depending on how big those cams are going to be. Unloaded, the case comes in at 18.25 pounds. It's a mid-weight system, but it feels incredibly heavy duty. Travel features, it features fully weatherproof gasket seal, 6 high visibility orange latches, 4 on top and 1 at each side, and it has an automatic pressure release valve if you're going to be flying with it. Yes, this thing is 100% airline and TSA friendly. Now let's talk about why this case caught my eye and my personal take on the design. The biggest selling point here is that the case is entirely foam-free. If you used foam cases, you know they can compress over time, trap moisture, and constantly rub against your expensive sights and strings. Flambeau fixes this with the A.B.S system, or the Adjustable Bow Security System. Instead of foam, you get these incredibly engineered built-in rests. They form a rigid chassis with a shock-absorbing rubber membrane. You position these blocks to fit your exact bow model, screw them down if you want to do that, and your bow's critical components, your cams, your cables, and your sights literally free float in the air without touching the outer walls. To lock the bow into the rest, Flambeau includes these heavy-duty bright orange Nite Mega Gear Ties. I absolutely love these. They're essentially giant rubberized twist ties that wrap around your riser. There are no plastic bubbles to snap or your Velcro straps to wear out. You just twist them and the bow unconditionally anchors into place. Plus, look at the lid. They include dense rubber internal arrow holders that securely snap in up to 8 spare arrows using pure friction. There's no extra straps or anything flying around. They hold fast even if the case takes a beating. There's also a removable accessory pouch for your releases, your broadheads, and your tools. Depending on your case size, you can have it mounted in place, or you can just have it loose like I do. So how does this translate to actual use case? If you're a bow hunter, this case is a dream. Because of the free-floating chassis design, it actually permits you to leave your quiver full of arrows completely attached to your bow while it's in the case. If you're tossing this into the bed of a truck, onto the back of an ATV, or checking in at the airport for an out-of-state elk hunt, you can rest it easy knowing that your sights won't bump out of zero. But what about target archery? For 3D archers and target shooters, it's a highly secure vault. The deep 8.29-inch interior means that you have plenty of vertical room. However, there is a caveat for target archers. If you're running big, long, massive stabilizer bars, you will have to unbolt them before putting the bow away. The good news is there's plenty of room in the bottom of the case or in the included gear bag to store your stabilizers and weights safely. The other consideration is for field or target quivers. There is no outside pockets, so you would have to store it inside. If you're a target archer, odds are then that you will have a separate bag for your quivers. Let's talk value. The Flambeau Formula Bow case retails right around $190 to $220 mark. In the world of premium hard cases, this puts it right in that sweet spot. It sits way above the cheap $60 plastic foam shells, but it comes in significantly cheaper than your premium Pelican or heavy-duty SKB cases, which can easily push $300 or $400. I did some digging into what the broader archery community thinks about this case, and the reviews are overwhelmingly positive, averaging about 4.5 out of 5 stars across the major outdoor retailers. Hunters love how tough this case is. One reviewer mentioned taking it through TSA multiple times and tossing it around relentlessly with zero issues. Another highlighted that these bright orange latches are great because if one isn't fully fastened, the contrast makes it easily identifiable from across the room. And for myself, well, you can tell I'm a fan of orange. However, to give you an honest review, there are a couple of critiques from the community you should know. The setup time. Because the system is universal, the initial setup requires you to position the chassis blocks and hand tighten the 16 screws into the base to lock them into your specific bow. It takes a little bit of patience. The gear ties. While the orange gear ties are critically secure, a few users noted that they take an extra 15 to 20 seconds to wrap around and unwrap compared to your standard foam cases or if you have those Velcro straps. If you're someone who wants to rip your bow out in 2 seconds at the range, it's a minor trade-off for total security. The other point of consideration that I would bring up is that this case is going to be heavy. It is about 19 pounds for the case unloaded by itself. And possibly if this is going to be for a small child or somebody else, well, the parent's going to need to be carrying this case. And then also point in consideration is whether you're going to want to have an external quiver, in which case, well, are you going to fit it in here with the bow itself, or you're going to have it separately. At this weight, it is possible it would be cool if there were some wheels included, but that obviously would add even more weight to it, so it's a point of consideration. So, who is the Flambeau Formula bow case ultimately for? It's for the archer who values absolute peace of mind. If you travel frequently, hunt hard, or you just hate how traditional foam degrades and crushes your accessories, the foam-free design, the rugged built-in rests, and the brilliant orange tie system make this worth every single penny. But what do you guys think? Do you prefer a traditional foam lining, or are you ready to make the jump to a foamless design? Let me know in the comments below. This is a brand new channel focused entirely on everything archery, from gear reviews to tips. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and I will see you in the next video linked up here.